kid's upstairs crying. I'm just trying to make a video. The other kid is up there playing a harmonica. So, it sounds like I'm living in a circus of nightmares. Well, that's real life. Anyways, what's up guys? I'm going to show you what it looks like the first time that I take a dog out into a new location during their training process with us. So let's go to the park. Whenever you change the environment or the difficulty level, you always want to take a couple steps backwards in your training in order to set the dog up for success. If you just throw them into the deep end, you're guaranteed to experience failure, and you're only going to hurt yourself in the long run and really slow down your progress. Something that's important to understand about how dogs learn is that they learn in pictures. They like to understand what the big picture looks like so that they can better comprehend what they're going to be experiencing. When they can better comprehend that, it leads to a lot more clarity. The more clarity they have, the less stress they have, and ultimately, as far as your obedience and control goes, you get a lot more compliance out of the dog. So in order to go from being able to have your dog listen to you reliably in and around your home with no distractions, when you want to get to where you can take them out into public and more difficult situations, you need to be able to recreate that picture that you have at home in those other environments. It's called generalizing. What I'm doing here to set Winnie up for success is looking for opportunities to reward the behaviors the way I normally would in my training room or in my outdoor training area. The only thing that's different is the location, is the environment. Everything else has remained the same. She makes some honest mistakes, but we just correct up on it and rinse and repeat until she gets it right, and then we move on. This is one of the reasons why we can get dogs to be reliably off leash that you otherwise would not be able to trust, because we're not just taking you into public and looking for an opportunity to correct you because you messed up. I'm looking for opportunities to continue to reward you for doing the right thing so that you ultimately want to do more of that thing. I'm not going to hesitate to correct her or punish her if she does the wrong thing. We've done a whole conditioning process to make sure that she's going to have the right response if we need to do that, but that is not ultimately going to get us to where we want to be. There are consequences for doing the wrong thing, sure, but our focus is on rewarding her for doing the right thing so she wants to do more of that. If you've done a good job of teaching your dog what their expectations and boundaries and rules are, at this point they're going to be largely avoiding any negative consequences anyways. The bulk of your training should absolutely be focused on rewarding the behaviors that you want and rewarding interactions with you. Before too long here, Winnie is going to be presented with some difficult scenarios. If I'm relying on her choosing whether or not to pay attention to me based on the threat of punishment looming over her head, it is going to fall apart at a certain point. She is going to choose a higher competing motivator at a certain point. But when you do it in this fashion, I remove the bulk of that difficulty for her. It is not that hard for her to choose to ignore another distraction because I'm giving myself that much more intrinsic value. And I'm not relying on a spur-of-the-moment correction to redirect her focus back onto me. This is something that we do every single time we go out in public. Even though that other dog is right there, the rules don't change. Even though you see a jogger run by us, you don't get to chase him, the rules are still the same. Oh yeah, and you might be wondering, since she's off leash, what does her recall look like? Boom.